The Graduate by Charles Webb. Benjamin Braddock graduated from a small eastern college on a day in June. Then he flew home. The following evening, a party was given for him by his parents. By 8 o'clock, most of the guests had arrived, but Benjamin had not yet come down from his room. His father called up from the foot of the stairs, but there was no answer. Finally, he hurried up the stairs and to the end of the hall. "Ben," he said, opening his son's door. "I'll be down later," Benjamin said. "Ben, the guests are all here," his father said. "They're all waiting." "I said I'll be down later." Mr. Braddock closed the door behind him. "What is it?" he said. Benjamin shook his head and walked to the window. "What is it, Ben?" "Nothing." "Then why don't you come on down and see your guests?" Benjamin didn't answer. "Ben?" "Dad," he said, turning around. "I have some things on my mind right now." "What things?" "Just some things." "Well, can't you tell me what they are?" "No." Mr. Braddock continued frowning at his son a few more moments, glanced at his watch, then looked back at Benjamin. "Ben, these are our friends down there," he said. "My friends. Your mother's friends. You owe them a little courtesy. Tell them I have to be alone right now." "Mr. Robinson's out in the garage looking at your new sports car. Now go on down and give him a ride in it." Benjamin reached into his pocket for a pair of shiny keys on a small chain. "Here," he said. "What?" "Give him the keys. Let him drive it." "But he wants to see you." "Dad, I don't want to see him right now," Benjamin said. "I don't want to see the Robinsons. I don't want to see the Pearsons. I don't want to see the Tawoons." "Ben, Mr. Robinson and I have been practicing law together in this town for 17 years. He is the best friend I have." "I realize that." "He has a client over in Los Angeles that he's put off seeing so he could be here and welcome you home from college." "Dad, do you appreciate that?" "I'd appreciate it if I could be alone." His father shook his head. "I don't know what's got into you," he said. "But whatever it is, I want you to snap out of it and march right on down there." Suddenly the door opened, and Benjamin's mother stepped into the room. "Aren't you ready yet?" she said. "No." "We'll be right down," his father said. "Well, what's wrong?" she said, closing the door behind her. "I'm trying to think." "Come on, Ben," his father said. He took his arm and began leading him toward the door. "Will you leave me alone?" Benjamin said. He pulled away and stood staring at him. "Ben," Mr. Braddock said quietly, staring back at him, "don't you ever swear at your mother or me again." Benjamin shook his head. Then he walked between them and to the door. "I'm going for a walk," he said. He stepped out into the hall and closed the door behind him. That's The Graduate, written by Charles Webb.